Let's talk about the important story today. India's space program is facing an unexpected challenge, not in the orbit, but on the ground. Nearly 100 scientists have reportedly resigned from ISRO in recent months, including senior personnel associated with landmark missions such as LVM-3, SpaceX, and Chandrayaan-3. The exits come at a crucial time with the Gaganyaan human spaceflight mission and several advanced satellite programs approaching key milestones. While ISRO and the Department of Space have not officially stated why so many scientists are leaving, reports suggest India's rapidly expanding private space sector is creating new opportunities for experienced talent. In response, the Department of Space has tightened its resignation policy under new guidelines. A voluntary retirement and resignation requests from Group A scientific and technical personnel working on Gaganyaan and other critical missions will now require approvals at the Department of Space level instead of being cleared by individual ISRO centers. The move is aimed at protecting specialized expertise and ensuring continuity in projects of national importance. We're being joined by some very important guests on the broadcast. We have Dr. Ram Srivastav, space scientist, who's joining us, Group Captain V.N. Jha, former Joint Director, DRDO, is also with us on the broadcast. Last but not the least, Dr. Raju Garudachar, former ISRO scientist, also with us in the broadcast. Appreciate all of you joining us today to take a very important conversation forward. And on that note, let me quickly get in a perspective from Group Captain V.N. Jha. So I want your understanding. Although the Department of Space has not published any official figures, reports are suggesting that nearly 100 scientists have resigned from ISRO in the recent months. What could be the immediate operational impact that ISRO may face until the new batch of scientists are brought in to take over all levels of responsibility?
Well, very good evening, Asari. You have already mentioned one factor, that some of the scientists or some of the ISRO scientists are getting better career option, better pay packages outside where the space sector is privatizing, may be one of the reasons. But then out of the four main reasons for exiting from ISRO, I would put it that as the number 4. See, for us, I have been a design scientist in the DRDO, in the product R&D, value additions, innovations. We scientists are involved with only that scientific part of the program, that is design and development, something to do with the R&D. We take the data and put it into the specifications, and that is what is possibly the designing part or any innovation. Some of the state of the art projects which are world over, we try to incorporate it into our own products in case if it is possible. And of course, invention and discoveries that the scientists in various walks of life, various other departments, they undertake. So this is one, the most absorbing thing is the scientific job satisfaction that we drive out from various projects. If there's a lack of it, then the real scientists, they will exit. Remember, they are the R&D scientists, they are the scientists who are doing the innovations or the designing of the ISRO products. There are other scientists, there are other engineers who may be doing just the maintenance aspect of it. They are not covered in this. Another one is that demotivating factor. Of late, with the promotion policies, overruling the previous ones, there are at times a person sitting, a scientist head, who have got a very poor skill of the scientific innovations, or he becomes a department head over his own seniors. That is a very demotivating factor in the R&D or in ISRO. Third thing is that bad name when you get, like failure of PSLV. One PSLV failed, second PSLV failed, one GSLV failed, SSLV failed. So when such repeated failures happen, that also causes some of the people to exit. So these are few of the things, only few of the things, other than the administrative factors, pay packages, promotion aspects, something more that I have not talked about. I have just confined myself to the scientific part of it. So that is how I see it. of course, we have got the ISRO scientists in our panel. They will give their perspective. Asami.
Right, absolutely. Dr. Garudachar, let me get in a word from you. I want to understand from you how many scientists are currently employed with ISRO, and I also want to understand from you, could these resignations have an impact or delay important missions that are linked to the success of Gaganyaan and other important missions as well?
Good afternoon. I don't know the details of the inner details of is there a sudden exit of exodus of people, or is it a gradual depletion? However, they may have their own personal reasons, because you see ISRO is a growing organization where people are getting aged and they may have other personal commitments, like for example their children are abroad, okay, whatever it is. Apart from the remuneration, attraction in other okay, opportunities. However, I'm not sure that, see, there are two sides of the same coin. One is, you don't, you should know that you should have grown up, a person has grown up, a lot of, time is spent for him in the department, he knows all the in and out of the project. So suddenly he leaves means a real problem for the organization. Certainly the project will suffer. For example, even I had one occasion where even after my retirement, I continued the project because there is a problem of discontinuation of a person who retires, because the new person cannot catch up with the new assignment, the fresh assignment in his mind. And whereas the old person can continue and do it successfully till the end. However, generally I have argument on both sides. See, ISRO doesn't really, it is not like nobody is indispensable, that kind of concepts. So everybody is important, but you can also develop a kind of a scenario where people are, there are say, second and third people who can carry forward. But yes, there are some issues. It may not be very, very smooth. However, it's good to have a kind of a transition, but continuation is one thing, transition is it slows down the mission. One is you have your own, you can, I don't think the 100, as reported in the media, there is no sudden, to my knowledge, to my personal knowledge,
Right.
there is no sudden exodus like that. It's a gradual, okay, but it's not easy to stop them because they have better remuneration. And I'm not sure people are going for academic institutions. Whomever I have seen in the startup, venue, you see there are retired people. I know about 90% of the people who are retired. Post-retirement, they have joined the startups. And some of them have joined, for example, I have joined an academic institution. The remuneration is not the main thing. It's keep yourself busy and all that. However, there is a real concern, the way it has been reported in the media. If there are 100 people living, and there are projects which are in the, at the culmination, like Gaganyaan and all that, is a real worrisome factor. I don't want to comment on that. There can be a real problem because there are international and national, projects. You cannot abandon in between, or you cannot take the risk of having some kind of a problem during the mission beginning and or also during the completion of that. Thank you.
Okay, so absolutely. So we of course, we do yet require a clarity from the Department of Space to put out those official numbers. But let me come to something that is concrete. Dr. Srivastava, I want your perspectives over here, because the Department of Space has effectively restricted resignations for mission critical staff, now in fact under Group A. Is that the right step at the right time in your opinion?
I think this is one good decision with the Department of Space has taken. On 14th of July, they have passed one order that those scientists working in Science and Technology Department of Group A, their VRS process will not be accepted. The reason is very simple, because they are involved in missions which are very, very important for the development of the nation. It is understood that within the last 10 months, more than 100 such scientists have left the ISRO. One of them is the scientist Victor Joseph T. he was involved in satellite launch vehicles, geosynchronized satellites, MK3 project, and he was the project director. And similarly, there are so many other people who have resigned and they have joined the private sector in the space science, which are newly coming up in India. Actually speaking, there are three spaces, three sectors. One is totally classified. The mission details are not supposed to go here and there. And those involved in that category one, they should be restricted in going anywhere because that is the secret of our country future projects. Now in category two, we are open to purchase the some of these accessories from the market. For that, private companies are working day and night. It is very good. There are so many startups, and obviously they are supposed to help our ISRO program. And category three is the general thing which we are purchasing from the market. It's all right. We can get it from anywhere in the world. So the secrecy is not there. Only group 8 people working in the as the mission director or head, they are coordinating different parameters. They have got classified documents, designing and everything. So they are not supposed to go there. If at all they are going there, then there should be a watch, particularly just like we should not repeat the situation which Lambi Narayanan has faced or which Dr. Praveen is nowadays facing the thing. Foreign spies, they have contacted them, they have given the proposal of a lot of money so that they can leak out the secrets. This is not fair. In fact, we should have to restrict infiltration of such type of spying in our space, particularly in the classified documents. Now, the important thing, why these people are leaving? Number one can be very easily understood. After the age of retirement of 60 years, people are getting much better salary job and much better conditions. So they may be joining. It's okay. After retirement, there are certain conditions of the persons working who pay. They are not supposed to work at least for 1 year. This is also the condition in defense also. But main important thing is people are entering in ISRO at near about age of 30. Half of their lifetime is simply utilized in learning the process and learning the management, learning the technology of the project. Now, by the time they become the expert, they are getting retired at the age of 60 years. And unfortunately, in our country, whatever government servants are facing a type of frustration in their promotion and everything, it is because of the fundamental rules which were designed by Britishers, and still they are being followed in each and every field of government service. So these scientists, they are not very much interested in just working very hard. Not all, but some of them. I know personally, some of them, they are simply just pleasing their bosses so that they can get their confidential report much better, their future can be better developed. But this is not the answer for a good project. We will have to look into the matter and devise by technique by which the scientists should feel free and their abilities are to be considered for further promotion. And that is very important. The government will have to think very seriously in this particular matter and must find out the reasons why they are leaving the job.
Okay, all right. Group Captain VN Jha, I need your perspectives over here, because former chairman of ISRO, Dr. S. Somnath, has decided to join Agnikul Cosmos, which as we know is a private space startup. Do we see this as a win-win situation? Do you think this transfer of talent could effectively bridge the gap between state-led research and private innovation?
Surely. Look, Dr. Somnath has been at the helm of ISRO. And if he has decided that he should leave ISRO and join someone else for a reason, maybe personal or maybe his career or maybe his, scientific acumen that he wants to pursue, it's welcome. Look, in any R&D establishment, any research establishment, we should not have unwilling scientists. Someone who is reluctant to work, someone whom we have held back by the collar of his shirt. No, such people are not to be retained in the scientific research. That is one thing very clear. Have only those who are absolutely motivated to work in that area. They have got their own passion to work on that field, and we know we have worked in our particular project till the midnight, 9 to 5, maybe the work standard of someone. Not only me, the entire team of my thing, and that is where it comes. When our co-panelists say that, we will not have much of loss even if Dr. Somnath has gone. Look, in a scientific spirit, in a R&D, it is never an individual alone. If I'm the project director, I have given the system development to various teams, and those teams have got number one, number two, number three. When I'm having a comprehensive, thought or review of that particular product or that particular system, then the head, he gives his perspective that I'm proceeding like this, I'm having this bottleneck, I'm having this problem. So I immediately put this question to the number two, number three, the entire team. Does anyone, whosoever it may be the youngest scientist in that block, does he have any something to fulfill that particular gap, something which can be out of the hat, something very different. So that particular opportunity to given is all to the entire team. So if number one goes, there is no void. Remember, in any complex product development, there is not a single individual who is happy. Yes, people like Namidaran, who was working on the cryogenic thing, he may be knowing much more than that, but his team members, they also would be having the similar sort of look, idea how it will work. So in a complex project like rocket development or the satellite development, number one, number two, number three, the entire team, they have got the in their head how it is to be worked. It is only the skill set, his skill power, his experience that makes it easier. The number two may have slight bit of bumps, but then that is how people get confidence into this, and it is never, 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 seldom it is there that if number one has gone, the project is thrown out or project suffers. Seldom it happens. At least that is how I have seen in the DRDO happen. And I have got no reason not to believe that similar thing must be happening in the ISRO as well. Now coming to the another things. Look, ISRO is not only the ISRO making rockets or something, it also has got an institution, Indian Institute of Space Sciences, in which there are different departments wherein people are either the teaching with the experience, the people are getting the experience what they want for their system designs for that R&D. So it is producing those young people, young
Right.
minds who are getting absorbed into ISRO, and they are also having a say. Remember, I told you already that even the youngest of the lot in my team, he will be asked, does he have anything alternate which can make the system much more smooth or advanced, state of the art, something technology. So that is how entire team works. And someone, maybe the youngest of the lot, he may come with a suggestion. Sir, let us do like this, and
Right.
this will have this innovation. This is a newer generation thing we will have. So that is how it works. So
Right.
I don't see any setback into the ISRO with this.
Okay.
But then, many people living at a time will create a problem for the administration.
Okay, all right. Dr. Garudachar, I'm a little short on time, but I want your perspectives because let's perhaps say that 20% of the scientists who resigned have done it due to personal reasons, maybe old age, other factors that are contributing. Some perhaps will transition to private space sectors. But what about the rest? What do we do to retain talent?
Exactly. See, the ISRO, as we are not, as my own personal experience says, is not for money or any remuneration, more of a challenge. That spirit has to be there. That spirit has to be there. It will carry you forward, and you will not be attracted by any other, particularly monetary or any other attractions. So certainly, it is not Everybody cannot there may be isolated cases. Your example you quoted about Somnath is already retired. I'm talking about the working level people who are there. It's a teamwork. It's not a one man's show and all that. There will be a dissipation of all the information to various groups. Not only that, you say ISRO is across 6 or 7 centers,
Right.
not one person. So there is an identified focal person from each of the disciplines: rocket, then launch vehicle, ground station, and payloads, communication, data. All those things are there. So certainly it's a consolidated efforts of a large team. And of course, yes, it will hurt if the head of the project leaves. But it won't be a crisis in my view. I
Okay.
don't think it will be a crisis. It's certainly manageable. My own personal experience. Again, I'll repeat the word. We are not working in ISRO. We are not working on. Nobody is like on the philosophy. Nobody is indispensable. That means if you go ahead. But it is better you stay back. Certainly, we will not tell them go and all that. But if he has got genuine reasons and he has got compulsion through to family or other reasons, we will not, nobody stops. But I was also surprised to see the new restrictions put. I'm not sure what is the real thing that is happening, and so that I cannot really comment on that.
Okay.
But again, as a
Right.
general observer, last word is, as a general observer, there won't be any crisis because there won't be sudden,
Okay.
exodus of 100 people.
All
Thank
right.
you, madam.